Hello there, you're now with me, Handy Gui, and welcome to your 5 p.m. English news on TVS. Now let's dive into the topics for today. With high COVID-19 vaccination rates and the number of cases and rate of hospitalizations decreasing nationwide, Sarawak Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts Minister Dr. Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah said the Health Ministry MOH and the Sarawak Disaster Management Committee STMC should study the approach of other countries in handling the COVID-19 pandemic. This is yet another sign that we are moving one step closer to living with COVID-19. However, public health physician Dr. Helmi Hazmi opined that relaxing face mask rules could have implications.
Dr. Helmi said mask wearing remains an extremely effective and low-cost measure that has a significant impact on the risk of passing on infection and being infected.
Viruses and bacteria that we can prevent by using the mask as well.
Meanwhile, other countries are still continuing to mandate the wearing of masks in high-risk environments such as public transport, hospitals and aged care centers. Dr. Helmi said this is entirely appropriate, backed by scientific evidence and proportionate to the risk of transmission in these settings. Furthermore, Dr. Helmi said before relaxing face mask mandates, it is important to observe the healthcare system's capacity to absorb and accommodate the varying healthcare demands.
For example, our capability of our healthcare system to accept cases, to treat cases, and even treat the bad cases, among others. We do not want to have a flip-flop decision on the matter, which may confuse many people. Just to cite a recent example, in India, they have just removed the mask mandate, only to reinstate it again as cases begin to surge.
He further stressed some immunocompromised people cannot get the vaccine due to their underlying conditions. Precautions such as face masks and social distancing are still important methods to contain the spread of the disease.
For vulnerable group of people, especially those above 60 and those who are above 12 who are immunocompromised, who have the difficulty to maintain a high immunity level against the viruses, as compared to the healthy people. The mask probably is just a minor trouble, but on the bright side, we can still move about, mobilize, and this is good for our business. And economy is just as important.
Dr. Helmi advises the public to remain vigilant and face masks must continue to be worn, especially in enclosed areas.
The Borneo Jazz Festival returns this year to entertain jazz music enthusiasts from all over the country. After 2 years of absence due to the pandemic, the festival is expected to further boost the state's tourism industry.
Minister of Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts, Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah said the government is targeting a total of 3,000 physical attendees during the 3-day festival.
The maximum is 1,000 per night. So it's 3 nights, so about 3,000. Yeah, 3,000. And we hope to meet that 3,000 target. For those who are going visual, that we have yet to see, because it will be very difficult for us to estimate. But then last year's visual Borneo Jazz, we managed to gather 240,000.
200,000.
Yeah, more than 200,000 viewers. But at that time it was free. This year they have to pay, so the number will probably be less than that. Much less.
In the meantime, Karim hopes that neighboring country Brunei Darussalam would consider opening its border when the festival takes place.
And also, since this concert is going to be held in Miri, we do hope that our border with Brunei will be open by then. Because I believe there are lots of jazz lovers on the other side who would long to come over. Yeah.
The Borneo Jazz Festival this year will be held at Coco Cabana in Miri from June 24th to June 26th, with the theme Jazz in the Jungle. The festival will witness performances from more than 60 artists from around the world, including the United States, Hungary, Singapore, and France.
Now, Sarawak Regional Marine Police seized 9.24 million ringgit from arrest cases and suits from January 1st to March 31st, 2022. Sarawak Police Commissioner Datuk Muhammad Azman Ahmad Sapri said the value has decreased by 80% as compared to 47.23 million ringgit recorded from January 1st to March 31st, 2021.
Okey, sepanjang tahun 2022 sehingga Mac berbanding dengan tahun 2021 Januari hingga Mac, kita telah melaksanakan sejumlah 218 siri operasi berbanding dengan 239, di peningkatan sebanyak 6% jumlah operasi. Dan juga hari yang terlibat dalam operasi juga meningkat berbanding 2021, 965 hari dalam operasi, dan bagi tahun 2022 sehingga Mac 1157. Itu pertambahan 17 hari.
Additionally, there were 568 arrest cases and suits this year, which was an increase of 48% as compared to 383 cases in 2021 during the same period. As of March 31st, 2022, only 15,000 people, 833 people were inspected as compared to 27,239 during the same period last year. On 21st April, Marine Police held a patrol operation in the Kuching Waters area with officers from the Sarawak Police Contingent Headquarters for enforcement purposes.
Kita membuat tinjauan petrol kawasan tanggungjawab daripada jeti di Lembaga Sungai-Sungai Sarawak sehingga ke Muara Tebas bagi memastikan pengawasan undang-undang dijalankan dan juga menentukan pematuhan SOP daripada rakyat tempatan dan juga nelayan.
There will be an ample supply of pork for the upcoming GAWAI celebration. Following the latest notice issued by the Department of Veterinary Services (TVS), allowing certified pork products from Cebu and Kuching into Miri. Previously, Minister of Modernisation of Agriculture and Regional Development, Datuk Sri Stephen Rundi Utom said such an approach was carried out to meet the demand during the festival.
The reopening of the abattoir in Krokop will aid in meeting consumer demand for pork. Dr. Rundi also mentioned that the TVS office has received several complaints regarding the slaughtering of pigs outside the permitted premises. However, upon investigation, it was found that these premises were monitored and the pigs were obtained from authorized sources. The same was expressed by TVS Director Dr. Adrian Susin Ambut.
I wish to assure the public that our pork in Sarawak is safe to eat and to consume. In Sarawak, pigs are slaughtered at Veterinary Service Department certified abattoir before being sold in the market. We slaughtered more than 2,000 head weekly, therefore there is enough supply for this coming GAWAI.
As such, any party found to be in breach of Section 62 of the Veterinary Public Health Ordinance 1999 shall be liable to a fine not exceeding 10,000 ringgit or imprisonment not exceeding 1 year or both.
Now, internet and mobile phone service disruptions in Laos since Wednesday evening were due to a cable cut in Bukit Tiong. The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission MCMC MIRI said, based on information received, an electrical cable around 300 meters from the site had been cut after it was hit by a fallen tree. It added that it also affected the Sakofa fiber and telecommunications line in Laos. Sarawak Energy Berhad SEB said it is trying to rectify the power cable issue. In its latest update, MCMC said the internet and cell phone services have been fully restored. Welcome back. Now, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah and Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Haja Aziza Aminah Maimuna Iskandaria arrived at Kuching International Airport today for a two-day visit to Sarawak.
A special aircraft boarded by the royal couple landed at the airport at about 12:20 p.m. Their Majesties were welcomed upon arrival by the state's top leadership, led by the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri of Sarawak, Tun Abdul Taib Mahmud, and the Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg. Three Deputy Premiers, Datuk Ahmad Douglas Ugahambas, Datuk Amar Awang Teng Hali Asan, and Datuk Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian, Sarawak Legislative Assembly Speaker, Datuk Amar Tan Sri Muhammad Asfia Awang Nasar, and the State Cabinet were also present. Their Majesties are scheduled to visit the Satok Ramadan Bazaar later today before attending iftar at the State Jamek Mosque, where they will offer donations to 30 recipients.
Malaysia Airports Holdings MAHB network of airports nationwide has witnessed a 52% increase in the international traffic in March compared to the preceding month.
The increase recorded by the 420,000 international passenger movements was due to the implementation of various vaccinated travel lane programs between Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, Bangkok, Phuket, Phnom Penh and Penang. KL International Airport also welcomed a new international airline, Air India Express, on March 28, which serves a 3-time weekly flight from Tamil Nadu, India. Meanwhile, partner airlines also continued to resume more international routes such as Malaysia Airlines and Malindo Air, flying to Perth upon the reopening of the Australian borders on March 3rd. For Malaysia, the overall passenger movements registered an increase of 19% in March from February. Additionally, its domestic passenger traffic movements also increased by 15% at 2.61 million passengers from the previous month.
Now wrapping up the 5 p.m. news, a total of 130 undocumented migrants who escaped from the temporary immigration depot on Wednesday, April 20th, are still on the run. Kedah Police Chief Commissioner Wan Hassan Wan Ahmad said those who are still at large were 99 men, 21 women and 10 children.
He said as of midnight, a total of 448 had been transferred to 4 separate immigration depots at Langkap in Johor, Machap Umbu in Malacca, Semangya and Bukit Jalil in Selangor. On Wednesday, a protest at around 5 a.m. at the detention center by the Rohingya detainees quickly turned into a riot. During the escape, 6 detainees, including 2 children, were killed on the southbound side of the North-South Expressway while trying to cross the highway near GAWAI. It is understood most of the Rohingya there were previously detained in operations by various agencies in Langkawi. It is learned that a manhunt operation conducted by police and immigration personnel is underway.
And that wraps up the 5 p.m. English news on TVS. With that, I'm Henny Gui. Stay safe and have a pleasant day.